We already voted on the sufficiency in substance. And so far, both the Sabalia et al. Impeachment complaint and the Cabrera impeachment complaint were declared sufficient in substance. No? We also approve the motion of Kong Bell, that is for the issuance of notice to the respondent, of course the Vice President, for her to file her answer to the 2 impeachment complaints within the period, non-extendable period of 10 calendar days. No? So, this is supposed to be furnished to the complainant. And from the date of receipt by the complainant of this answer, she is given a period of 3 calendar days to file a reply. And then that reply has to be furnished to the respondent as well, in which case the respondent is given another 3 calendar days for her to file her rejoinder. No? We will be welcoming also the submission of evidence. That is because both complaints have been declared sufficient in substance already. No? If ever there are affidavits and counter affidavits, we should be notified by the complainants because they need to be sworn in before the Justice Committee. When all this evidence and documents are gathered, completely gathered, and all these responsive pleadings are received, then that is the time for us to determine whether there is sufficient ground that support the impeachment complaint. And if the decision of the Justice Committee is in the affirmative, that's the only time that we will be proceeding to the hearing proper. So for the opening statement, that would be all. Thank you.
Iba po galing sa ex-officio members po yun. Sino po yung mga dineputize? May mga bumoto po bang dineputize? If we can have... And for the record, sino po yung isang bumoto na no?
The members of the House who participated in the voting includes 1 is regular member, 2 ex-officio members. If the ex-officio members cannot attend, they can deputize non-members. So if you notice some House members there who are neither justice members nor ex-officio members, then I wish to believe that they belong to those who were deputized by the ex-officio members. I know for a fact that my fellow from Batangas, the Honorable Beverly Marino, she was deputized by Deputy Speaker Bambi Imano. No? I am just not certain about the ex-officio members who deputized the non-members, but the COMSEC has a complete copy of the deputization letter that gives them the authority to participate and vote. The only one who casted a no vote is Congressman Bong Sontay. The rest of those who participated, including Kong Rufus Rodriguez, voted in favor of the motion.
Were you surprised with this vote?
Yes, I was. Because all his manifestations were apparently not in favor of the sufficiency. And that is why it is really surprising to see him voting in favor of the sufficiency.
Mapalawag natin kasi regular members po ng House is 40 and 54 po yung nag-vote. So 14 more or less ang deputized by the ex-officio members.
The ex-officio members, the ex-officio members include the speaker, the deputy speakers, the senior deputy majority leader, and the deputy majority leaders. So a lot of them attended, and when the ex-officio members are present, their vote is, their attendance is counted and their vote is counted as well.
Second question lang po. Doon po ba sa hearing proper, doon na yung time na i-consolidate yung third and fourth impeachment complaint?
I am inclined to believe that the consolidation will happen after the determination of the existence of probable cause. And that is the last step, the fifth step before we go to the plenary.
So it will be tackled one by one pa rin po, yung pong mga grounds, pagka sa hearing proper. Separately-
Well, what's gonna happen is, just like in the notice, we will be attaching both impeachment complaints, the third and the fourth, no? So it will be up to the respondent on how he is going to respond to all the allegations therein. Either he files two separate answers, or he files one answer indicating the responses to the third impeachment complaint and indicating the responses as well to the fourth impeachment complaint. What is important is for us to have reference that we are still dealing with two impeachment complaints here, although consolidated in one proceeding.
Sorry, just to press on that. What if hindi po mag-reply ang VP Duterte?
If she doesn't file an answer, that is considered as a denial of all the allegations contained in the complaint, and the Justice Committee will simply proceed to hearing these impeachment complaints.
Kung during the hearing proper, pareho rin po ba dun sa determination ng sufficiency and substance na one article, one discussion?
Pwedeng ganun po yung maging takbo po. Pero, syempre, yung pagkakaiba, pwede na hong magsabpina ng mga resource persons, no? So, yung pong mga napangalanan doon po sa mga impeachment complaints, yung mga dagdag pa hong mga personalidad, yung pong mga dagdag pong mga dokumento. So, halimbawa, kanina po, yung pong mga SALN, pinag-uusapan kanina, so pwede hong i-request po ito mula sa Office of the Ombudsman, pwede pong itong i-request din sa Davao City Hall para po doon sa mga previous SALNs ng atin pong Vice Presidente nung siya po ay nasa Davao City pa. So, lahat po yan po yung magiging malaking pagkakaiba dahil pagtalakay na po ito ng mga aktual pong mga facts, meron na po mga testimonya at dokumentong kukunin mula sa mga tao at mga opisina.
Good afternoon po. Will the committee issue a subpoena on the bank records of the Vice President po? Since the complaints were already found sufficient in substance.
There are complainants. If they will be filing a motion for the issuance of the subpoena duces tecum, that is with regards to the relevant documents, no? And even ad testificandum, the attendance of significant witnesses, we will be acting on their motion.
Ma'am, pag just in case po na the committee approves that motion for a subpoena, hindi po ba ito contrary sa bank secrecy law? Kasi you mentioned about it kanina.
You will remember that one of the exceptions to the bank secrecy law is impeachment proceeding. So this is an exception to the bank secrecy law, which means we can look into the records of the bank account.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I don't think meron pong effect ito doon sa impeachment proceedings kasi most certainly isasabina ho talaga si Ramil Madiaga to prove the truth of his affidavit, no? And again, babalikan po natin yung mga nabasa ho nating mga defenses patungkol po kay Mr. Madriaga. Ang sinasabi po doon, he was never an employee of the Office of the Vice President. I think that matter was touched upon during the proceedings po kanina. Dalawang bagay. Yung po mga contracts of service, tsaka mga job, anong tawag dito? Job order contracts po sa gobyerno, technically hindi po yan mga empleyado ng mga opisina ng burokrasya. No? So, yun yung una. Pangalawa, kung ang status po ni Mr. Madrigaga ay confidential informant within yung sinasabi niya hong context of use of confidential funds, so ibig sabihin, hindi talaga siya maging empleyado, kundi ang estado niya ay confidential informant. So, we will see all of these things as soon as we subpoena Mr. Madriaga to the full impeachment proceedings po after a few weeks.
Sir, how would you describe po the timing, or Congresswoman, how would you describe the timing of the filing of the perjury complaint? Because it coincides on the day na boboto yung mga miyembro ng Justice Committee on the sufficiency and substance, and we all know that this is a crucial step for a proper hearing to be conducted.
Well, to tell you honestly, we didn't think about the timing, or we didn't even consider or react on the filing of the perjury case. Kami naman ho, ginagawa lang namin yung trabaho namin sa Committee on Justice, and everything that we did in the committee is according to the rules of the House of Representatives and according to the Constitution. So, it's the prerogative of the Vice President to file whatever case she wants to file, but like Congressman Terry said earlier, kung kailangan namin isubpoena yung witness, yung nag-execute ng affidavit, gagawin namin po yun. So that is completely separate and separate from her filing of the perjury case.
May transfer dito sa Kamara po. Si Ramil Madriaga po ay nandun po sa hawak po siya ng BJMP, if I'm not mistaken. So there's any move with the Committee on Justice para matransfer dito sa pangangalaga ng Kamara?
Definitely, the initiative must come from the complainants, no? If they will be filing a request or a motion to that effect to transfer the custody of Ramil Madriaga from BJMP to the House of Representatives, we will take that into consideration, but that should be subject to the approval of the justice members.
Kailan po magsisimula yung bilang ng 10-day period para tumugon ang Vice Presidente, at paano kung wala po siya maging tugon?
Actually, we have a rule in law na in counting the period, we should exclude the first, include the last, so the counting shall begin on March 6. Bagaman today, it is being served already to the Vice President, no? So today is a serve, we count from tomorrow, the 10th day will be March 15. About your question, kung anong consequence kapag hindi siya sumagot or no answer is received by the Justice Committee. Again, similar dun sa appearance niya, itong answer is part of her due process as well. So as to whether she will file an answer or not, that is her prerogative. And if she doesn't file, again, that will merely be interpreted as her waiver of her right to file an answer. No? Nevertheless, ang Justice Committee, tuloy lang ang proceeding ng impeachment complaints.
Ano pong epekto pag hindi tumugon ang Vice Presidente?
It has no effect at all. It is as if she did not present her defense. No? It is as if she did not defended herself or counter the allegations in the complaint. No? Pero with respect to the proceeding, diretso lamang po kami. And there should be no issue of violation of due process because remember, nag-issue tayo ng notice, we gave her the opportunity to file her answer. So kung hindi siya sasagot, that will merely be interpreted as her waiver of her right to file an answer.
At pag natapos na po itong 10 araw, kailan po posibleng mayakyat at pagbotohan sa plenaryo ng Kamara at magsimula po yung trial mismo sa Senado?
From the answer of the Vice President, no, we give also under the rules to the complainant a period of 3 calendar days to file her reply. And then from reply, we give the Vice President again a period of 3 calendar days to file her rejoinder. And then, pag kompleto na ang responsive pleadings, including all the evidence, that's the only time we shall determine whether or not there's sufficient ground that support an impeachment complaint. No? That's our step 3. Rafi, mahaba ito. After step 3, proceed tayo sa step 4. Doon sa step 4, we will be having the hearing proper. Iimbitahan na natin yung complainants, witnesses, and even the respondent to provide their testimony before the Justice Committee, no? So, ganun din yun. Pag hindi dumating si Vice President sa hearing proper, it will merely be interpreted as a waiver of a right to be present during the hearing, no? After the hearing proper, our step 5, the Justice Committee members shall vote on whether or not there is probable cause that support the impeachment complaint. Whatever our decision is, we will be writing this in a committee report which we will forward to the plenary for approval of at least 1/3 of all the members of the House. Kapag nakuha ng impeachment complaint itong botong ito, 1/3 of all the members of the House, no? This will warrant the transmittal of the impeachment complaint or the articles of impeachment to the Senate, and that is for trial.
Okay.
Rafi?
Malinaw po. Pero may epekto po ba sa impeachment case yung pagsasampa ni VP Sara ng reklamong perjury laban kay Ramil Madriaga? Paano po i-appreciate dapat ito ng komite?
We should remember that the impeachment proceedings is a sui generis proceedings. This is not a criminal prosecution. This is not a civil action. This is not an administrative action. Yung kay Ramil Madriaga, that is a criminal prosecution which was filed by the Vice President against Ramil Madriaga. As to whether or not may epekto ba ito dito sa aming impeachment proceedings, at this stage, wala. We will simply proceed to the impeachment proceeding, no? Pero kung makonvict nila si Ramil Madriaga dito sa perjury, somehow it will affect the veracity of the testimonies which he provided in his affidavit.
Sabi po ng kapatid ng vice na si Davao City First District Representative Paulo Duterte, pagpapakita raw yung resulta ng botohan kung paano ginagamit ng ilang puwersa sa Kongreso yung impeachment para sa politika. Ano pong reaction nyo dyan?
Well, I cannot say anything about that sapagkat ang trabaho ko lang as Justice Chair is to make sure that we have an orderly proceedings while we hear these impeachment complaints. As to how it happened na merong 54 na bumoto in favor of the impeachment complaint, I guess there's only one reasonable conclusion to make, and that is they all believe that these impeachment complaints need to be heard further sapagkat may sapat na basihan upang ituloy ang proceeding ng Justice Committee at upang magkaroon ng pagkakataon ang complainant, ang sambayan ng Pilipino, and even the Vice President to address the matters which are alleged in the impeachment complaint. No? Let us not be so negative about this impeachment process. This is not only for the complainant, this is for the Vice President as well. Because this impeachment proceedings is the perfect opportunity for her to belie all the allegations, no? To prove that they are not true, and eventually to exempt herself from all the allegations and perhaps the ultimate consequences of this impeachment proceedings.
Yun po
to
sigurong,
absolve herself from liability.
Yun po sigurong dapat tandaan na wala pa namang napapatunayan dahil nagkaroon ng ganung botohan, hindi ho ba? Pagpapatunay lang ito na dapat matuloy at mapakinggan yung mismong mga ebidensya dun sa kasong yon.
Tama ka dun, Rafi. What we did yesterday is just a determination of sufficiency in substance. There's a lot of steps more to be undertaken before the Justice Committee, before we can finally proceed to trial. At yung bawat step na yon may opportunity by way of her right to due process, ang ating respondent, ang ating Vice President, to defend herself. Although it is really up to her whether she will avail of those or otherwise.